What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week, and I, for one, am super excited about it. I'm looking forward to waking up tomorrow and not having to get up so early. But we got a lot to talk about today. We have to talk about the motto, because I always tell y'all to respect the motto. Anybody and everybody can and will get got. And yesterday, it was the rise of the underdogs, and I loved it. We also have to talk about the postseason awards and how my opinions have been fluctuating, and my rationale behind that, and who's going to win now, and all that good jazz. So, that and a whole lot more on today's episode of Quita in the Morning, starting now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. All right, guys, let's get into today's show, because I think it's a good one. I don't know. I think it's a good show. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but first, as usual, we always got some previous games that we need to talk about, and so I want to quickly go over what happened last night, because guys, I was pleasantly surprised with what we saw last night. And what did we see last night? Well, we saw the rise of the underdog, because who doesn't like an underdog story? Who does not like the team that's not supposed to win? The team that's not as good, not as talented, not as together. That team taking down the team that people were like, hey, oh, that should be easy to win. Oh, they should win that game, no problem. Yes, the rise of the underdog. And yesterday, we got to start off, when we talk about the rise of the underdog, we have to start off with the Connecticut Sun, the worst team in the WNBA. The reason why they're the worst team is because they're just the worst team. They have the worst standing in the WNBA, and that's never fun, right? To be at the bottom. I talked about the Connecticut Sun yesterday, and their hope for the future. But this year has kind of been a wash. But I don't know if you know this, but the Connecticut Sun are on a 2-game winning streak. Even though they are 8-27 on the season, they are getting the job done, and they are working very hard on the basketball court. Yesterday, we saw the Connecticut Sun take down the Washington Mystics. The final score was 67 Connecticut, 56 Washington. And here's the deal, guys. Who does Connecticut have that is still showing that she is an elite talent in the WNBA? That is none other than Tina Charles. Yeah. Tina Charles. One of the best scorers in WNBA history. A player who has played in a couple of different arenas, and a player who is beloved by basically the entire league. Tina Charles is 36 years old. Been in the W for a long time. And she is still extremely elite. Elite meaning the fact that she's literally averaging 16 points a game this year with the Connecticut Sun. She's leading the charge for this team, and she is making stuff happen. Guys, she hasn't averaged this many points since 2022. Briefly, when she was with Phoenix, before they had the contract divorce. All right. Tina Charles, the legendary New York Liberty player, right? Tina Charles, the UConn legend. Tina Charles, the one who was originally drafted to Connecticut. This year, she made her return back to the team, and we all know how great Tina Charles was. But the question was, how was she going to do with this team? How was she going to do with this very, very young team that had a brand new coach, had a lot of young players to come in? Well, she's led by example, and she's led through dominance. Tina Charles yesterday took control of the game and dominated. Tina Charles only played 22 minutes yesterday. And she looked great. 21 points for Tina Charles. WBZO says, I heard something last night that made me take a pause. There are scores and then there are buckets. I like it. Anyway, Tina Charles did her thing. She dominated, and she really is the reason why Connecticut ended up getting the dub. But as usual, even though she had a bad shooting night, I always have to talk about the rookies when I talk about the Connecticut Sun. Anissa Morrow didn't shoot well, but she did have 6 points, 8 rebounds. Layla Lacan didn't shoot well either. 5 points, 5 assists for Layla. And Sanaya Rivers didn't shoot well at all either. 7 points for her. But shout out to the legend, Tina Charles. We also did see Aaliyah Edwards come off the bench and give 10 points yesterday for the Connecticut Sun. So a very, very low scoring game. A very, very low scoring game. But the Sun get the job done. For the Mystics, as per usual, it was really all about the rookies. Sonia Citron with 15 points and Kiki Ira-Afin with another double-double, 13 points and 10 rebounds. Gemini says Aaliyah got revenge on the Mystics. Yeah, here's the thing. When you play the team that you just left, there's always a little extra oomph that you want to put in the game and try to do your best to have your team win, right? That's absolutely a thing, right? So, Connecticut, do the unthinkable and take down the Washington Mystics. Okay, next up. Speaking of unthinkable, Chicago Sky took down the reigning champs in New York, guys. Final score, 91 Chicago Sky, 85 New York Liberty. Guys, what a game. What a game, right? I came home sort of midway through the game. And when I turned it on, I was like, oh, the Sky are in this game. And as the game progressed, my mom texted me and was like, oh, the Sky are, the Sky, she's like, the Sky are bad, but they are only losing by 6 at the time. Like she was like texting me throughout the game because like that's what she does. Like whenever there's something wild happening, she's like, wait, what? So she's like, hey, the Sky are a bad team, but they're only down by 6. And then she texts me and says, what's going on now that they are out of the playoffs? They seem ready to play. And I text her back and I said, it's because of Angel. And she was like, wow, this is what we have missed all season. The reason why I wanted to read that out is because I think a lot of Sky fans were thinking the same thing yesterday. The Chicago Sky beat the New York Liberty final score 91-85. And truly, guys, the difference with the Chicago Sky that we have seen over the last 2 games is Angel Reese, guys. She is literally the difference, guys. On Tuesday, we saw the Chicago Sky lose to the Seattle Storm, but that was a game that was way closer than we imagined. That was a game where Chicago was in it the whole time. And that was a game that Sky fans left excited, happy. Yeah, we lost, but at the same time, it was how we lost and how we did things different. And I gotta say, Chicago Sky was a new Chicago Sky on Tuesday. And that continued yesterday, where yesterday they were actually able to get the dub. And the difference is Angel. Shamika says, Angel is the spark Chicago needs. The difference with her on the court is huge. Give her whatever she wants. Bring Spoon back. Well, I don't think they're going to bring Teresa Weatherspoon back. But Teresa Weatherspoon was at the game yesterday, and her and Angel were catching up and whatnot. And I'm like, those two have a fantastic connection. And it is pretty amazing to see. Okay. So yes, while I'm talking all about Angel, I really do think Angel is the catalyst to this resurgence for the Chicago Sky over the last two games. In terms of them just playing up, right? Remember, guys, before Tuesday, the last time the Chicago Sky scored more than 80 points was back in July 29th when they played Washington. They lost to Washington, but the Sky had 86 points in that loss. Angel had 22 of those. When Angel went out for those bunch of games due to her back injury, the Chicago Sky couldn't really score like that. They couldn't score, right? We'd see them score 66 points in a game, then 67, then 64, then 65, then 70, then 62, 59. That's for a full 40 minutes. On Tuesday, Chicago Sky scored 88. That number's back up. Yesterday, the Chicago Sky scored 91. Now, we're going to get into Camila Cardoso, who was amazing yesterday. Absolutely. But I do want to make it clear that it seems to be that's the catalyst. That's the catalyst for this resurgence for the Chicago Sky. The catalyst is Angel. Just is. All right. And speaking of Angel, yesterday, she did fabulous. 21 points, 10 rebounds. Yes, she did miss that layup at the end of the game. And I was like, oh no, the Sky, is that going to cost the Sky? But it didn't. And the Sky ended up getting the dub. But yesterday, it wasn't just Angel, guys. It was Camila. Y'all, Camila Cardoso was in her bag yesterday. Here's the thing, guys. I love when we see post-to-post action, high-low action, and we did see some of that yesterday, and I love to see it. Camila, yes, 22 points for Camila, 8 of 9 from the field. Camila was efficient, very, very efficient. But the thing that I got to talk about is Camila's passing. When you see post players, typically you're probably not expecting them to be that great of a passer, right? You're probably not expecting them to be that great of a passer. Of course, you want them to rebound. And yesterday, y'all, Camila was rebounding. Camila was getting after it. 15 rebounds for Camila. Like, she was moving. And also, guys, y'all realize Camila was guarding Jonquel Jones, right? Y'all remember that? She was guarding Jonquel Jones. And Jonquel Jones did go off yesterday. She did. However, that's a lot of work. That is a whole lot of work. Battling against Jonquel Jones on the defensive end and still getting in your bag on the offensive end. I'm just saying that was a lot of work. And Camila was getting to her shots. And she was always looking for her teammates. Camilla is a willing passer. If you are open, Camilla's going to give you that basketball. Right? She is very unselfish. And she's pretty accurate. Yes, she's going to get some turnovers, right? But it's way more positives than negatives when it comes to Camila Cardoso passing out of the post and just passing in general. I think she had a fantastic game yesterday. Fantastic. El Kune said, thanks so much for the super chat. Says, shout out to the skyscrapers. Yep. Burr, burr, burr. Yes. Shout out to the skyscrapers. And Shamika, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, can we talk about that Angel defense on Emma Misabit? Again, similar to Camila Cardoso, Angel Reese and Camilla, they both had a tough task on defense. Tough task, right? You got Jonquel Jones and you have Emma Misabit. Guys, Emma Misabit couldn't really do anything yesterday. I was like, man, you do not look like your normal self. Yes, Emma was passing the basketball and getting her teammates involved and whatnot. But when it comes to her being the dominant player that she can be, she couldn't do it yesterday. She could not do it. Because who was there playing defense? Who was there? Well, Angel. Here's the thing. I get it that sometimes when it comes to defense, all we look at is steals, right? We look at steals to determine, how good someone is on defense. But I gotta say, defense is way more than steals. And yesterday, Angel did her job. She played defense. And she was elite on offense. Dog. What we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? All right. So yesterday, it wasn't just Camilla and Angel. Though, definitely they're the reason. They're the reason why the Sky team won. Absolutely. But I have to give huge shout outs to both Ariel Atkins, who showed up yesterday, was aggressive yesterday. Very, very aggressive. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for Ariel. She showed up big in the fourth quarter. As time was winding down, love to see it. Michaela Onyenwere, also really, really great minutes for the Chicago Sky yesterday. So I just gotta say, wow. And I tell you, the Chicago Sky, they showed us what is possible. They did, right? This is a very different Chicago Sky than the Chicago Sky that got blown out by New York to start off the season, right? When New York beat the Sky 99-74, right? Where Rachel Banham was the leading scorer with 15 points in that game. This is a far cry from that Chicago Sky. Far cry. I just got to give a shout out to him. But y'all know what I'm going to say. We about to go to the New York Liberty. I got one thing to say about the New York Liberty. One thing. You all know probably what I'm going to say. What happened yesterday for the New York Liberty? Yes, Emma Misabit was shut down on offense. Yes, she was. Yes, Sabrina Ionescu and Natasha Cloud had a decent game, but like not enough to make that extra step. especially with Emma Meeseman not being as efficient, right? Yes, Jonquel Jones has 25 points. Yes. But you know what I'm going to say? You know what I'm going to say? Why did the New York Liberty lose? They lost because how many rebounds did Jonquel Jones have? 7. Here's the thing that you all need to know. I've told y'all this time and time and time again. When Jonquel Jones does not get a double-double, her team's not really going to win. That's the catalyst. And also, Courtney Vandersloot was there yesterday. She does not sit with the team. Like she doesn't sit on the bench with the team for Sky home games. She doesn't travel, to my knowledge, for Sky home games, for Sky away games. But she was in New York yesterday. She did travel with the team, and she was there to get her ring, right? And she was in Sky attire, and yes, the team stood on business for Courtney Vandersloot and baby Jana. But so yeah, that was a huge motivation for this team to play well because Sloot was with them the whole way, right? Though she was there to get her ring, of course, we all know that. But it was Jonquel Jones not getting a double-double. Because I've said it again. If Jonquel Jones gets a double-double, it's basically an automatic win. Basically. Thank you so much, Crazy Las Vegas Aces fan, for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. Rodney says they lost because Stewie didn't play. Really? So if New York lost because Stewie didn't play, how did New York beat Minnesota with Breanna Stewart not playing? See, the logic of the New York Liberty needing Breanna Stewart to beat the Chicago Sky, the second worst team in the league, is a funny statement to say. It is a funny statement to say. So they're not good enough to beat the Sky without Stewie? Because Rodney, if that's your logic, man, the Sky needs to be very high up in the playoff standing if the reigning champs need Breanna Stewart to beat them. I'm just saying. I just find it wild that Breanna Stewart has been out almost the entire season, right? Like, well, not almost the entire season. I'm exaggerating there. But, and when it comes to how many games that Breanna Stewart has played this year, she hasn't played a ton. She hasn't. Right? Breanna Stewart this year has played in 24 games. 24 games. She's missed a lot of games. She's missed 10 already. So you mean to tell me that you mean to tell me that this team has not had her for 10 games? And they all of a sudden need her to beat the Chicago Sky? Come on now. Come on. No, the Chicago Sky are not making the playoffs. They are out of contention. All right? They are out of the contention. I talked about them yesterday. Okay? All right. Shamika says we would have lost by 40 without Angel. I don't know about 40, 30 probably. 20 to 30. We probably would have lost 20 to 30. Probably. Anyway, let's continue on. That wasn't the only game that happened, but we got a super chat. LL Cool Nay, thanks so much for the super chat. Says anybody can get got. Quita's voice. Yeah, y'all know the motto. Anybody can get got. Anybody. Yes, the Chicago Sky can beat the New York Liberty because anybody can get got. Should they have beat the New York Liberty? No. But can they? Absolutely. Yeah. Should the Connecticut Sun have beat the Washington Mystics? No. But did they? Yes. Because anybody can get got. Respect the motto. And the Atlanta Dream yesterday took down the Minnesota Lynx as well. So.
Ready to put your luck in.
Yeah. And full disclosure, I did not get a chance to watch the Atlanta Dream versus the Minnesota Lynx. Full disclosure, but just sort of looking at ultimately what happened, we did see the Atlanta Dream just play like a team, man. Jessica Shepard, Bridget Carlton, Alana Smith, Kayla McGrath. They all played decently well for the Minnesota Lynx, but it was the likes of Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, who played some big minutes, big buckets. But yeah, again, I can't talk too much about this game in particular because I did not get a chance to actually watch the whole thing. But 75 Atlanta Dream, 73 Minnesota Lynx. I'll probably watch it later today. I'll probably watch it later today. But yeah. I don't have anything else to say other than fantastic job by the Dream, and I have to watch it to to specifically figure out what happened. All right, now moving on to the Las Vegas Aces versus the Phoenix Mercury, guys. Yeah. The Las Vegas Aces are amazing. They just are flat out dominating. And I got to talk about this game because I was watching it and I was like, I know good and well this Phoenix Mercury team ain't playing this bad. Phoenix, they was struggle busting from early in the game. And Satu Sabli was keeping the minute, but they were just not good. Of course, Alyssa Thomas is going to be Alyssa Thomas. She had a double-double. 17 points, 6 assists, 11 rebounds. But it was everybody on the Aces who made it happen, right? Of course, we got Asia Wilson, 19 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, dog, she's a beast. We had Kirsten Bell, I was watching, and what was it in the first half? Did she get those 2 threes? Anyway, Kirsten Bell was shooting with confidence from that 3-point line. And I was like, you better go ahead, girl. Yeah, she only made 2 of them, 6 points for Kirsten Bell. But I loved the way that Kirsten Bell has been playing this year. I think she plays with so much confidence. And her 3-point shot is a good shot. Shout out to Kirsten Bell. Shout out, man. I love watching her play this year and how she has basically proven everybody wrong. I love to see it. Nalissa Smith had a pretty good game as well, 12 points for her. But y'all know where I'm going to go with this. Dana freaking Evans, guys. Dana Evans came into this game and she was like, you know what? I'm about to show them a little piece of what I got. Dana Evans, 17 points, 7 of 6. Man. Yesterday was the Dana Evans show. It was like welcome to the Dana Evans Invitational. And I love to see it. Shout out to Dana Evans. Shout out to Dana Evans. Because I think it's really, really cool. I think that Dana was like, let me cook. I said, let me cook. And yeah, anyway. Phoenix, I don't know, man. They just didn't have it. Like from early on in the game, it was very, very clear at halftime that it was like, yeah, the Phoenix Mercury are not making this comeback. They're just not. And that just continued as the game went on. And I'm not exactly sure why. Yes, good defense on the Aces part, but I don't think it was just defense. I don't know what it was with the Phoenix Mercury. They were just bad. And then on defense, it was like Dana went off on the fourth quarter. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Mercury? Play some defense. Oh man. Why don't you have your t-shirt on? What? Is there a particular t-shirt you wanted me to wear? Oh, my anybody can get got shirt. I should have wore that today. I should have wore it today. I didn't. I should have wore it. Instead, I'm wearing my Blackhawks shirt. Go Hawks. All right. And yeah, those are the games that happened yesterday. All right. I want us to just go through those real quick and talk about them. So I now want to move on to the topic of the stream. So here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. You all know that I absolutely love talking about players and like talking about how great they have been playing and yada yada yada. Yeah, you all know I love to do that. And you all know I've been very, very clear on like who my top 3 was for the MVP. And last night, I took a lot of time, and also this morning, I took a lot of time thinking about the people I had and the placement I had them in. When I was thinking, because you all know I have had Nafisa Collier as the MVP. I've had Alyssa Thomas as number 2. I've had A'ja Wilson as number 3. As time has gone on, as we've seen more play, I decided, I was like, you know what? Let me just sit down and really think about this and like really go through truly what the qualifications, at least my version of the qualifications, are for MVP. And it was like, okay, I should rethink who I have selected. And I have done some thinking, and I gotta say, guys, that I think at this point, my mind is kind of made up here on who I think should win MVP. And I want to talk about it and engage with you all in it with a whole bunch of facts and my rationale. So let's get into it. A'ja Wilson is my MVP for this year. She was at number 3, but really thinking about this, really going into looking at the last month of play, and also basically the whole season of play, but like really what we've started to see as of late, I think it's A'ja Wilson. So my criteria for most valuable player is, of course, individual accomplishment, which is huge. So you have to be an elite player in the W. And also my second criteria that is actually pretty weighty is that you have to be the number 1 catalyst for your team. So you have to be elite individually. You have to be on a good team, and you have to be the biggest catalyst for success for your team. And with those things in mind, I am fully convinced that A'ja Wilson will be MV4. Right now, she's MV3. She's won the MVP 3 times. And I gotta say, I was rooting for Nafisa Collier. I really was. I think she's a phenomenal player, but truly, the injury that she suffered, and the success that the Minnesota Lynx has had without her, has convinced me that it's A'ja Wilson. All right. So let's go through A'ja Wilson and her stats. Well, A'ja Wilson is top of the chart in a whole bunch of stuff. When it comes to defense, A'ja Wilson, boom, right at the top. Right at the top, A'ja Wilson. Did you know that A'ja Wilson leads the league in blocks per game with 2.2 blocks a game? Yeah, she does. Did you know that A'ja Wilson is second in the WNBA in points per game with 22.8? Yes, Nafisa Collier is at the top with 23.5 points a game. A'ja Wilson, number 2, 22.8. A'ja Wilson is averaging a double-double with 10.1 rebounds per game. I know that some of y'all are very, 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 very into like fantasy points and all that stuff. I know some of y'all do that. I don't do that. But if just to like show, and I don't really understand the methodology about this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I thought it was fascinating when I saw it. I was like, what, really? Here's the thing. A'ja Wilson leads the league in fantasy points per game. I don't really know specifically what that means, but yeah. Amazing for A'ja Wilson. Guys, did you all know that A'ja Wilson is the reason why the Las Vegas Aces have a great position for the playoffs? Here's the thing. I don't know if you all were aware of this, but the Las Vegas Aces are on a wild streak right now. I'm talking a 9-game winning streak. 9-game winning streak. This team is in 3rd place in the WNBA. 3rd place. At one point, they were like, 7? Looking like they were barely surviving. It was literally just A'ja Wilson, and that was about it. Now, yes, Jackie Young does deserve more credit, and shout out to Jackie Young. Jackie Young is phenomenal. But when we look at this surge by the Las Vegas Aces as of late, right? When we look at the fact that the Las Vegas Aces have taken down some of the best teams in the league. They took down New York, right? They beat Dallas twice, right? They beat Phoenix twice, I should say, right? You beat Seattle. And all the while, who is the one with the team on her back? A'ja Wilson. A'ja freaking Wilson, guys. A'ja Wilson, in the last couple of weeks, has been on a tear. Now, yes, has A'ja Wilson been great all year? Yeah. Remember, guys, A'ja Wilson started off the year scoring 31 points and 16 rebounds in the first game of the year. Yeah. We know A'ja Wilson is that girl. But as of late, it has taken up a notch. I'm talking the last 4 games. A'ja Wilson, 30 points, 16 rebounds. 34 points, 8 rebounds. 32 points, 12 rebounds. 19 points, 13 rebounds. yes, there are other players stepping up for the Las Vegas Aces. Chelsea Gray looks a whole lot better now than she did at the beginning of the year, right? We're seeing Jewel Lloyd starting to really find her stride of sorts. We're seeing Nalissa Smith be a really good impact player for this team. We're seeing Kirsten Bell play well, yes. But here's the thing. If the Aces did not have A'ja Wilson, you cannot convince me that they would be a top team in the WNBA. They might not even make the playoffs without her. Like, it's so abundantly clear that yes, other people are starting to step up, but everything for the Aces begins and ends with A'ja Wilson. And A'ja Wilson is available, right? She's healthy and she's dominating. And her team is ascending. So all of that being said, individual stuff, team stuff, it's A'ja Wilson. So I'm on the MV4 train. I am on the MV4 train. See, here's the thing. Amini says MVP is a season award. You're describing player of the month. Yes. Has A'ja Wilson been great this last month or so? Yes. But that's why I put in my talking points about the beginning of the season. Here's the thing. A'ja Wilson has been great all season. All season. That literally the first game of the year against the New York Liberty, A'ja dropped 31 points and 16 rebounds. Right? At the end of May, A'ja Wilson dropped 35 points and 13 rebounds. Yes. Has the Aces been peaking as of late? And has A'ja Wilson been the main person to get them there? Absolutely. And also, she's been doing her thing all year. It's that her team also is getting it together. Right? A'ja Wilson has whipped this team into shape. They were terrible. Spoiled Swiss says, when she told them, if you weren't embarrassed, don't come to work, everything changed. Yeah. Yeah. I think she's both. I think she's player of the month and she's MVP. Now, you all may disagree with my rationale, and that's fine. But at least I'm trying to explain to you what it is. All right. So if I have A'ja Wilson as my new number one, as my MVP, who's number two right now? Well, number two, I have Napheesa Collier. Now Napheesa is great, right? Napheesa is a elite of the elite, right? Napheesa Collier leads the WNBA in scoring with 23.5 points a game. Napheesa Collier is the backbone of both the offense and defense of the Minnesota Lynx. Napheesa is excellent. She is an excellent, efficient player. Great. But I gotta say, what's my criteria? What's my criteria? I've said it already. Individual success, absolutely. Team success. And you being the number one, biggest, greatest catalyst for your team winning. And we all know that Nafisa Collier is huge for the Lynx. We know that. We know it. But the fact is, availability matters. Right? That's the facts, right? Availability absolutely matters. And we have seen Nafisa Collier be out. She's been out for a while now. And still, her team is still winning games. Yes, they did lose yesterday against Atlanta. They did lose against Atlanta. They did lose one game against the New York Liberty. But all in all, I'm just saying it's looking like a thing where the Minnesota Lynx, of course, they need an Nafisa Collier. Of course, we all know that. But I think a difference between the Minnesota Lynx and, let's say, the Las Vegas Aces is that individually, maybe if you want to go individual, pound for pound, just like the play, like individually, yes, the Aces got some great players. But when it comes down to it, literally everything works through A'ja Wilson for the Las Vegas Aces. Whereas for the Minnesota Lynx, yes, it runs through Nafisa, but it's not just Nafisa. Right? It's not just Nafisa. Right? You have the likes of Courtney Williams, who could go off for a bunch of points whenever. Right? You have the likes of Kayla McBride, same thing. Right? You have the likes of Bridget Carlton, Alana Smith, one of the best defenders in the league, as her right-hand man. Right? My argument is that because we have seen the Minnesota Lynx win without her, I have put A'ja Wilson over the top. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts. On that. And sure, will some of y'all disagree with me? Absolutely. Is that fine? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, here's the thing. Carmela is saying, not you saying the Lynx are too good for Nafisa to win the MVP. I get it, but it feels like being punished for being good. Yes, that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Yes. I think she is being punished because her team is still really good without her. Yes, I think that's what it is. Yes. And is that fair? No. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So far, Nafisa Collier has played in 26 games. This season, we're going to have, 44 games? By the end of the season, we're going to have 44 games. We'll see. Nafisa may be coming back. So we'll see. If Nafisa can come back, play the rest of the season, and play elite, then yeah, maybe she does jump back up there. But right now, with literally how amazing A'ja Wilson is playing, and also looking at how amazing she's been all season, with the amount of games that Nafisa Collier has missed, and with the greatness of the Minnesota Lynx as a team, that's just what it is. And here's the thing. I want to make it clear. I am not saying that Courtney Williams is better than Jackie Young. That's not what I'm saying at all. Not what I'm saying. Right? But what I am saying is the system that Cheryl Reeve has created. The system is a collective-based system, whereas for the Las Vegas Aces, the system is a Asia-based system. Does that make sense? You plug Asia Wilson out of the Las Vegas Aces, they're screwed. They're running with their heads cut off because everything runs through Asia. Whereas for the Minnesota Lynx, yes, I am Quintus. I am saying that yes, Cheryl Reeve is the better coach. Yes, Cheryl Reeve is the better coach than Becky Hammon, and has set up a system that can withstand the loss of her best player. Yes, and because of that, and also because Nafisa has been missing, been injured, and been missing a lot of games as of late. Yes, because of all that, yeah, Asia Wilson is my number one right now. Yes, she is. She is. All right? She is. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. And then third place is Alyssa Thomas. Y'all, I'm a big fan of Alyssa Thomas. I think Alyssa Thomas is great. I think she has been the number one key for the Phoenix Mercury. But again, it is not just about individually being great, right? It's not just about how many double-doubles, how many triple-doubles you can get. Though, individually, AT, elite, fantastic. But her team is starting to trend down. And because of that, I have Alyssa Thomas, who has dropped from number 2 to number 3. Phoenix looked horrible. They looked horrible last night. I mean, AT always does her thing, but they overall, they look bad. So, yeah. Okay. So, my mind was changed. It happens, right? I have Asia Wilson as my number 1. I have Nafisa Collier as my number 2. And I have AT as my number 3. Okay. So, I wanted to talk through my rationale because I think it's important. I am a fan of radical transparency. Like I tell y'all, my thoughts. I tell y'all who I think is doing what, why I think that person is deserving of whatever, and you all can agree or disagree, but we walk through it, okay? And that's the thing I really enjoy here on this channel. I don't mind being wrong. I don't. I say what I see, and if I change my opinion on something, I'm gonna tell you. Just like yesterday. I took some time to really think. I'm really map out what my criteria is, and really, really challenge the assumptions and the thoughts that I had and whatnot, and then I changed my mind about the MVP race. And so, yeah, that's what I do. That is what I do. And Neek says the award is for most valuable player, not the best player. I think in this case, if Asia Wilson wins, I think it's both. So I've said it before. I've said it even when I had Nafisa Collier as my number 1. I believe I've said it. To me, most valuable and best player in the league are not always the same thing. right? Even early in the season and whatnot, the best player was Asia. Asia Wilson is the best player in the world, in my opinion. Has been that way for years now. But, again, that's why for me, the MVP is not just individual. It's individual plus team. And that's why I had Nafisa Collier as my MVP from early on in the season until yesterday. So I think of best player and most valuable as two different things. Sometimes they end up being the best. They end up being the same, I should say. Not all the time. Not all the time. Not all the time. Okay, now talked about my MVP. All right, and I was like, you know what? Since I'm going through this for the MVP, let me do the same thing for Rookie of the Year. So I've been saying it that Sonia Citron was my Rookie of the Year. I've been saying it for, I don't know, weeks now. Because my criteria was similar to MVP for Rookie of the Year. It was individual stats, and individual greatness, plus team success. And I decided, I was like, you know what? Okay, let me actually just think about this for a second. And let's look back in the history of the WNBA, and both recent history and expanded history. And let's really think about this Rookie of the Year thing. And guys, truly, Rookie of the Year, in my opinion, is more competitive than it has been in a long time. We were at a point in the WNBA where it was a thing where rookies basically didn't really play. Right? Rookies didn't really play. And when they did, they were not really effective. I mean, effective in a decent way, okay, but like they weren't putting up numbers that we've seen in the last few years. We didn't really see transcendent. We had some transcendent rookies, but it wasn't like it was competition. It was obvious who was the Rookie of the Year, right? It was obvious. You all remember back in 2021, where like none of the rookies are really that good. And Michaela Onyenwere won Rookie of the Year. Now, she was doing her thing. But she wasn't like dominant. But she was pretty good. She's pretty good for the New York Liberty, right? Remember when she won the MVP in 2021? Right? Like I went back and I was like, okay, let's just go through the rookie of the years and let's see their relative competition. And let's see if team success mattered for the previous rookies of the years. Right? And it didn't. So if in the past it never really mattered, partially because there just wasn't a huge amount of rookies that were elite to even make it really a competition. If it didn't matter before, well, maybe it shouldn't matter now. Maybe it shouldn't matter now. So, with that said, change my criteria. And I took a criteria that a commenter gave to me yesterday. That the Rookie of the Year should just flat out be the best player that happens to be a rookie. So, with the best player that happens to be a rookie in mind, I gotta admit, guys, I was wrong. Yeah. And the best player that happens to be a rookie, of course, is Paige Bueckers. And therefore, with that being my new criteria, yeah, it has to be Paige Bueckers. It has to be Paige Bueckers. Is Sonia Citron in a better situation, on a better team, and the best player on her team? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Does Sonia Citron have a huge impact on her team and is a huge catalyst for the success we've seen for the Washington Mystics? Yes, 100%. And they're seeing leaps and bounds, far more success than the Dallas Wings. But if the criteria for Rookie of the Year is the best player who happens to be a rookie, of course it is Paige Bueckers. Even before when I said that I had Sonia Citron as my MVP, or my MVP. Hey, who knows? Maybe in 5 years, maybe in 5, 6, 7 years. Who knows? Maybe she'll be the MVP. Anyway, but even before when I had her, had Sonia as my Rookie of the Year, I always said that Paige is the better player. But that's the best player on the best team as a rookie was Sonia Citron. And so, yeah, my Rookie of the Year updated is Paige Bueckers. Mike says, Quita about the lawyer up. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm confused. Anyway, let's get into why. I mean, it seems obvious, but sure. Let's get into why. Paige Bueckers is my Rookie of the Year with the criteria of literally just the best player who happens to be a rookie. Well, it's because literally when you look at the WNBA and you look at the best players in the WNBA, Paige Bueckers is there. Flat out. One of the best players in the league. Someone who, like, arguably is a first team all WNBA. For sure. Second team all WNBA. But arguably, first team all WNBA is Paige Bueckers. How can a rookie be a all WNBA player and still lose Rookie of the Year? It wouldn't work. So you gotta change your methodology, right? So far this season, Paige Bueckers is 5th in the WNBA in terms of points. 5th. Guys. Paige Bueckers is averaging 19.7 points a game. 19.7, guys. When we look at how she's getting her buckets, she's shooting 47% from the field. Right? She's selective about her shots. Right? This is someone who has a lot of weight on her shoulders of what she has to handle for her team. You all remember the game that she had, 2 days ago? Where She made all the DoorDash people happy. When she scored over 40 points in a game. Paige Beckers had 44 points. The Dallas Wings had 80. Paige scored over half of her team's points as a rookie. And her team still lost. Yeah. It's very clear that Paige Beckers is the best player. It's very clear. Very, very clear. Duncan says Sonia Citron is a better player. She outplays Paige Beckers. I will say this. In the fourth quarter, like when it truly matters, we do see more from Sonia Citron and the Washington Mystics. I don't know. Actually, I do know. I don't think it's specifically because of Sonia Citron herself. I do think it's because of the way that the Washington Mystics play basketball and the way they have structure, and how successful that structure is. Right? Have we seen the amount of late game heroics and clutch moments and whatnot for Paige that resulted in a win? No. But again, that might not be due to Paige herself. And it's just the fact that the Dallas Wings don't really have structure. They just look like it's just like go out there and hoop. Like, again, they're a team that is kind of directionless. Whereas Washington has that. So it's sort of like thinking about how to weigh that. So, yeah. So, anyway, the best player who happens to be a rookie is Paige Beckers, and therefore is my rookie of the year. It is different methodology than what I had earlier, but I think it makes the most sense because like I don't think you can do the I think it could be tricky this year if you were to do the best rookie on the best team type of vibe where you're looking at individual stats, but you're also looking at team success. And if you pick Sonia Citron for rookie of the year, but yet in the entire WNBA, Paige Beckers is a first team all WNBA player, then that looks weird for her to possibly be a first team all WNBA player and still lose rookie of the year. So like that was truly, guys, the thought process behind actually my logic doesn't work. My logic, because it doesn't make sense at the end of the day. Right? Now, is Sonia Citron amazing? Heck yeah. On both offense and defense, Sonia Citron is flat out amazing. She's buckets. But at the end of the day, there can only be one. At the end of the day, there can only be one. And yes, Sonia Citron, in my opinion, is the best player on this Washington Mystics team. She is. Averaging 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. She's great. Great. But she is not the best player who happens to be a rookie. That is Paige Beckers. And therefore, Paige Bueckers is my Rookie of the Year. ET, I want to comment on this because, I just want to. Here's the thing. ET says you can be first team all WNBA and still not be unanimous Rookie of the Year like last year. One voter was extremely biased. Here's the thing. The thing I find very interesting is that sometimes and some people think that because you don't see things the way that they see it, that you are extremely biased. Here's the thing. Yes, last year, yes, Caitlin Clark was on the first team all WNBA, and yes, she was not a unanimous Rookie of the Year. What's the big deal? Right? I remember at the time, like there was a lot of people who were very much like, see, this is an outrage. See, it's clear they hate Caitlin Clark because they didn't vote her unanimously. Here's the deal. Just because someone disagrees with you does not mean that they are biased. Not necessarily. Because here's the thing. Who's to say you're not biased? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just find that thing that argument very confusing. It's like, it's like, okay, well, why does everybody else have to be like, and literally she still won, but people was upset that she wasn't unanimous. And it's like, okay. Yeah. Weird. Why does it have to be unanimous? Why does it have to be unanimous? But like, it was a thing. It was a thing last year. And it was like, oh, they're biased because it wasn't 100%. 100% of the voters did not fully agree with me. So they're biased. And so it's like, okay, well, maybe they are, but maybe you're biased too. So, yeah. Thank DW says it won't be unanimous because of all this chatter that's been going on trying to discredit Paige. Either way, I don't care if it's unanimous or not. The award is the award. Yeah, it's not going to be unanimous. I absolutely anticipate Sonia Citron to have a couple votes. I anticipate her having a couple votes because that's just what happens, right? It's not going to be unanimous, and it's also not a big deal. Neil says Rakia was my Rookie of the Year. I'm gonna tell you this. Rakia Jackson, if there was a Sophomore of the Year award, y'all, Rakia Jackson is, she's up. She's basically right at the top for the best sophomore year this year. Rakia Jackson. Not only has she been healthy, but also Rakia Jackson has been cooking. I think I'm going to do a full segment just on Rakia Jackson, the evolution of Rakia Jackson, because, dog, what a year. What a year. The quiet dominance of Rakia Jackson has been amazing. Munra says, what do you think about people saying Paige has a special UConn whistle? I think those people are funny. I think if whoever, the people who say that, I think whoever their favorite player is, if their player got the whistles that Paige got, they would be upset and say, they would still be upset and say the league is out to get the player. Here's the thing. Does Paige Bueckers get some ticky-tack calls that goes her way? Yes. But does Paige Bueckers get clobbered and nothing is called? Yes. Here's the thing: the refs giveth and the refs taketh away. No, I don't think Paige has a special whistle. I don't. Sure, she does get some favorable stuff, but also there are a series of non-calls where she gets clobbered. I shouldn't say the word clobber. She gets hit, she gets fouled, and there's nothing called. So yeah, I don't think so. I think what people like to do is they like to watch games via clips. And so yes, you can put together a compilation of phantom calls that she has gotten. You absolutely can. You can. And then you can say, see, they got a special whistle. But also, you could put together a compilation of the fouls that were fouls, but they were not called fouls. And you can say, see, the WNBA is attacking this player. The WNBA is attacking this player. We need an investigation. Because all the calls that wasn't called. When you can really do that for most stars in the WNBA. You can do that for most stars. You can make compilations of them getting phantom stuff, calls to benefit them. And you can make compilations of them getting fouled, significantly fouled, and nothing is called. You can do that. And so what I would much rather do is just watch the full of games. That's what I would do. Just watch the full of games, and then you get a good picture of both the good and bad when it comes to roughing. So no, I don't think she has a special whistle. Do I think she gets favorable calls sometimes? Yes. So does everybody else. But I don't think it's like a special thing that it's like, oh, we're going to specifically give Paige this. I think it's more like they randomly give easy stuff to players sometimes, and then they randomly decide not to call fouls. It's very weird. It's terrible. The refs suck. Clearly the WNBA does not care, and it is what it is. Mike, shout out to Mike for celebrating 10 months of channel membership. Mike says, can't we just make up our own awards and have our own show? Yes, we can. We did it last year. We will do it again. We're going to do it again. We're going to have the awesome people of the internet award show. We're going to do that. I need to set that up. El Kune says, Quita, you should make an award stream with random categories like sophomore of the year, mascot of the year, etc. I'm going to do that. And maybe I'll do like a people's choice and then a Quita's choice. Because I know for some of this stuff, my choice is going to be different than y'all's choice. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I think that'd be kind of fun. Hey, I appreciate your donation to the channel. I really do. I really, really do. I really appreciate it. So no, you didn't pay for nothing. You gave me an awesome donation, which I appreciate. Anyway. Ooh, I gotta go. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Thank you. Well, okay, we'll leave with this. Lindy says referees will miss calls, but to be standing right in front of the action and not call the foul is the problem. It is. And that's the problem that we see for the most part all the time in the WNBA. Like we literally you see in the I see it in person when I'm at the Sky games, and it's not just for the Sky, it's also for the other team, where it's like the referee is like right there. And you see a player get shoved or like whatever, and the ref is right there and doesn't call anything. And it's like, dog, ain't you right there? Didn't you just see it? So like sometimes these refs are like weird. They're very weird. But at the same time, the WNBA seems to be cool with it. They say they take a look. They say they do training and all this other stuff. But yeah. Anyway, that's it. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all liked it, please make sure to hit that like button. If you didn't, well, hit the thumbs down, I guess. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not. Also, make sure, guys, to tell a neighbor, tell a friend that Quita in the morning is here. Happy Friday. I will see y'all soon. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set, go.